for the US trial. If she comes back at 100% at this distance from the championship, you can have me on near to the games. I'll give you my right before look at it, and I'll tell you how I feel right there.
Definitely have you on again. Definitely.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna put Kane on the spot, you know. Kane and Dale.
If the Olympic Games were...
Who's your pick for the 100-meter women's final?
I mean, I have a bit of bias to Shelley, so.
Okay.
I mean.
And Dale?
For me, I've been watching this girl Sha'Carri, and she's very confident. She's not like current but I give this to Sha'Carri because there's no crowd. If we had crowd in the stadium, if we had spectators in the stadium, I'll definitely go with Shelley because Sha'Carri will be in front of 100,000 people for the first time in her life. So I'm going with Sha'Carri with me.
One more lady in the race, Dina Asher Smith, European 100 champion. Has 2 wins over Shelley and Fraser Price.
Yeah.
Second in King Street in Doha 2019. She is a champion right through, from juniors coming right through, and I think her time is now. So it's not just Sha'Carri, it is Dina Smith, who is, unlike Sha'Carri, experienced in big meets, has been a champion. She's world champion at 200 meters, and I think she's also extremely dangerous. Let's talk about it July 1, just before the
Hubert, we will be sure to send you that invite just before Olympics.
Absolutely.
Just to see how good the old crystal ball is, eh?
Ready. I know, you know what I do as well, Peter? I have a pre-meet guest sheet, what I think will happen. Then I keep watching. When I watch the semis, I go again to see if what I see in the semis confirms what I thought before the meet started. And so let's go again. Ready when you're ready. Liverpool, let's go.
No all right, well, I want to thank you, Lawrence, for being our first guest on Primary Media. Hubert is world-renowned and has taken the time to come and spend some time with us while we are in the early stages of Primary. And I think we have a commitment for Hubert to be giving us his pre-Olympic showcase. But Hubert, I want to thank you for doing this. A lot of people don't know the connection and don't realize that Hubert, you are quite a table tennis player yourself. And you will be asked to prognosticate and talk about table tennis at some later point.
Yeah.
Just want people to know that coming up in the next half hour, the great Olympian, Stephen Hilton. And at some point, I think he's big enough to fill Hubert's shoes. So once Hubert, once we're done, Stephen Hilton will be on. Thanks again, guys.
Oh, thanks for having me, and good luck to the guys on the show. And nice to see the Don man himself. Morning, Don. Good to see you. Bless you.
Yes. Thank you, Hubert.
Good to see you.
And now, in Karama Sports Center, we have the great table tennis champion, Stephen Hilton. How are you, Mr. Hilton?
Hey, Ken, how you doing, man?
I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
You're a bit low, but I mean,
okay,
some technical difficulties.
Let's fix Stephen's mic while I do the intro for Stephen.
How about now?
Stephen Hilton, we'll be on with you in a minute.
All right, okay.
Just talk.
Shit. What kind of?
Yes, touching on that point there, Kane. Coming back to that pushing the athletes too early. I know Hubert made a point, but I wanted to discuss it in more detail. Over the past 40 years, GC, PDC, and Calabar, we have been dominating the scene for quite some time. But we have no Olympians to show for it over 40 years. Well, maybe have one. But for our dominance in terms of
start let's come up and make the transition.
There is no transition. What are your thoughts on that? Because I think that something is definitely wrong with that kind of data, that kind of stat.
Yeah. Well, I think as Hubert touched on, there's a lot of factors. Some of it maybe the push factor of I mean, maturity level, growth spurts, injuries. I mean,
Yeah.
champs in itself is a mini Olympics. So these athletes get tested very early. There's a lot of mileage. As you were touched on with Javier Brown, he's
Yeah.
surging late in his career. So that is better for him going into his collegiate career and then for his senior career. So, I mean,
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, but I'm still wondering if, because I was an athlete at KC at 11, 12, lifting weights.
Mm.
Right, I still think that we're pushing our younger ones too early, because when you look at the data, you look at Shelley and Usain Bolt. Shelley was never a star in class 3 or class 2.
Or even class 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you look at it normally, majority of the Olympians, they progress later
In their career.
down in, yes, and not early.
Yes.
Mayo tratando de devolver sus remates a 5 metros de distancia de la meta. Increíble esto, pero no pudo hacer nada. La dejó larga. No pudo en el partido, pobrecito.
Welcome to Primal, where it all starts. Primal is your comprehensive source for entertainment. We aim to be your one-stop shop for music, arts, sports, culture, and more. We want to cultivate your creativity and pique your curiosity, all while you sit back, relax, and enjoy. We've developed and continue to
That's one we
develop
can focus more
programming
on
geared towards busy
winning
people
after
just like
have done the
yourself,
foundation,
who enjoy
the
eclectic
foundation,
music,
right?
Then as this rule change now where athletes are tailored to only can do
Mute
certain
And I
somebody.
see a
amount of
difference,
events.
and I see a difference in the system at Calabar.
Athletes now only do 2 individual events.
Yeah, yeah.
And can do
Commentary.
2 loads.
Just touch on Stennett. Where is
And
Stennett?
innovative shows on the
You
know,
go
where's
from
Matheson?
anywhere in the
All
world.
these
You know,
star
I
are
thought
athletes.
as a
24/7
Facebook, where's
entertainment.
Matheson?
Whatever you're in the mood for,
You know?
we have it, or we're on the cusp of development.
Fixing technical
So let's get
difficulties.
into
You
our
should have
current
Steve
lineup.
Hilton back online
We're
for the
hoping you're
table tennis stuff.
enjoying Primal Sports Center with Dale and Kane. We
Ladies and
invite
gentlemen,
sports enthusiasts
our
to
next
join
guest.
us here Saturday at 3
Our
p.m.
next guest is
In the mood for roots and culture,
the
listen to
Jamaican
Dandelions Roots
whose name is more synonymous with table tennis.
Wednesdays
Certainly
at
one
7
of table
p.m.
tennis.
Eastern.
Stephen Hilton is the only Jamaican to have,
information about the artist.
well, no, the second Jamaican to have qualified for the
On
Olympics.
Thursdays at
Himself and
6
Garfield
p.m.
Jones
and
and
Naima.
Michael Light are the 3 Jamaicans who have competed in the Olympics. This is somewhere around mid-80s in Atlanta Olympics. Stephen has won the Caribbean Championships, many times Jamaican National Championships, and has represented Jamaica all over the world. The most famous victory Stephen Hilton has. Stephen defeated the number 3 player in the world and the reigning European champion, Mikael Appelgren, at the US Open in Miami, in Florida, many years ago, and earned a contract to play in Sweden. The only other Jamaican that has had a chance to play in Swedish leagues, Simon Tomlinson, is currently operating Tomo TV and is the current national championship, walking in some good footsteps. But I'd like to welcome, many times you climb to the pinnacle of the mountain and talk to the wise man at the top of the mountain. That wise man is Stephen Hilton. And we're going to talk with the oracle of table tennis. Stephen, are you there?
It's muted. Not hearing him at all.
Mr. Hilton, please unmute.
Technical difficulties. I'm here now, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, Stephen, for a man who is the oracle, you should learn to unmute the mic sometime.
Really? You're gonna go there? You're gonna go there? Okay.
Is this really Stephen Hilton? Because the Stephen Hilton I remember had an afro and certain. I've seen a fella with a gray beard.
Well, it's
Gandalf
amazing what
the
time
Grey.
it does. It's a sponsor called Good Wine, sir.
So Stephen, I'm sure you know Kane and Dale, and they're eager to talk to you in their inaugural launch in the Primal Sports Center. Gentlemen, take it away.
Yes. Mr. Stephen Hilton. I have to say, I'm loving the look, you know?
Yeah, a little different.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it fits you, Yeah.
Right, man. Thank you
So,
so much.
thanks for coming on Primal Sports Network. We're trying to, we as table tennis people, we have to involve table tennis.
Well,
First,
I'm here to support you as much as I can, sir.
Yeah, and then, I mean, as Peter introduced you, when it comes to Jamaica table tennis, I mean, growing up in the sport, your name is synonymous with table tennis. So I'd like us to take us a bit through your table tennis career, because I personally don't know much about your table tennis career, hearing from your side. I mean, I've heard stories, I've heard tales from past players, although, I mean, you give back to the sport because I've known you from, I mean, I was a teenager. I mean, me and Simon travel, we speak to you, but I mean, that's on a different level about you, helping us with our games, but so to say, your career. Give us a breakdown of.
Well, ask anything. Ask me whatever you need to know, and I will inform you,
first
sir.
thing is,
What exactly
okay,
would you need?
Stephen. Welcome again, Stephen, to Primal. Dale here.
Hey, Dale.
Yes,
How
what's
are
up?
you doing, man?
How is life? How is life with the pandemic
Life
and
is
all?
life is wonderful, sir. I couldn't be more blessed.
Okay, and the family?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, good.
My daughter is doing very well. Thank you.
Okay, Stephen. All right, so tell me, give us a rundown how you got introduced to the sport.
All right. For those of you who may not know, my father, Roy Hilton, was the president of the Table Tennis Association. My father was a businessman. If you guys knew of Hilton's Limited, he was well connected with, corporate Jamaica. He loved table tennis, going back to the days of Fernando Roberts. Have you ever heard of Fernando Roberts?
Definitely, Robbie.
Yeah, sure.
Coach my music in my days, for sure.
Exactly, going back from those days. Anyway, my father had a dream in terms of promoting table tennis and growing table tennis. He started off with this tournament called the Lovebird Tournament in terms of getting international players to come down. And that was very popular back in those days. So at the time, I may have been maybe 8, 9, 10 at that time. I was introduced to table tennis because of that. So I was around all these world-class players every single year. These players, whenever they had a party after that tournament, they were at my home. So I saw everything, even things I shouldn't be seeing. But anyway, but that's why I got involved in table tennis. And we had also Desmond Douglas, who was Jamaican, left Jamaica when he was 11 years old, but played for England. He was also ranked in the world. And of course, as Jamaicans, we support Jamaicans and everything like that. So we got attached to it, or I got attached to the game. My parents had a table at home. We played table tennis. That's how it basically started.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Stephen, tell us about the early years. I heard you were national champion at what, 15 years old or 14?
I think it may have been maybe 16, 15, 16. May have been 16. That was the first time. You want to know about that in terms of how that came about?
Of course, definitely.
All right. Marina Buchanan, she was, I think, the editor of The Gleaner. She was managing me in those days. Maybe you guys might not have heard of her. She was the one who basically brought Garfield Jones into table tennis. But anyway, she managed me from those days. The year before that particular, I think the year before, I was winning pretty much every under 17 tournament, all the junior tournaments, and going into that year, I was winning all of them. She actually suggested that I not play the national championships juniors, and most people were upset by that. I listened to her. She said I need to focus on the men's singles.
Yeah.
At that time, in all honesty, and people might not really understand. I don't think along the lines of what I'm going to win. It has never been that sort of way. Even at that time, the thought of winning was not even there. I have a job to do in terms of how I trained. That's how I thought. My manager at that time thought that it was best that I not play. I just listened to instructions, did it. So I didn't play. Unfortunately, I won that tournament at 16 years old. Now, in terms of competing, people tend to put the cart before the horse most of the time, and this is where the problem lies. From a very young age, I sectionalize things. So I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? This, that, and that's just basically it. Fortunately, it ended well, and I won the national championships.
Okay. I'm Steven. I was watching a video with you and Mario Alvarez.
Yeah.
I think it's probably about maybe about 1984, 85.
Yeah, that's when I probably had hair in those days. Yes.
Yeah, man, that kid and play. That kid and play hairstyle.
As Peter said, he remembered the high top. Yeah.
And a couple of things that stood out to me, Stephen. I noticed that the style of game that you were playing from back in the 80s is